Thank you for joining us again. Hello, good morning, good evening, and good night, or wherever you're watching us, or good afternoon. Thanks for joining us again for watching our video. If you're just joining for the first time or you've been introduced to this channel, this is Education Unpacked, where we unpack all the questions surrounding learning, development, professional advancement in whatever areas, but education wise. So we want to thank you for coming today again. We will be looking at, because we've always said it in this platform, that we focus on to break down the different questions surrounding experts out there, and we keep it straightforward here, nothing complicated. We go straight to the point. We bring the answers to you, our viewers out there, no one else. So what happens in this case is that we are going to be looking at today we'll talk about the difference between honors and a standard degree or an ordinary degree. Now, we want to make sure people understand the difference between these two things. If we look at the types of degree, first of all, there are different types of degree. I would say like 4 different types. You have an associate degree, you have a bachelor's degree, you have a master's degree, and you have a doctoral degree. So we are going to focus today on the difference between honors degree and a general or standard degree. Most honors degree, like in the UK, you'll find most degrees will be honors. However, you do have some standard degrees as well. Honors degree, actually, you are being honored by the school, of course. That's to break it really simple. But it goes further than that, because honors degree will require some kind of a detailed and the amount of work, the volume, what a student will need to go through to obtain their degree. And it needs you to do some amount of research, some kind of proposal, and work on a kind of a project. So the learning is in depth. The learning is in depth. You need to really dig deep. And in most cases, these programs are longer in terms of the number of years spent. Could be 3.5, in some cases 4 years. You want to see the difference in this particular area, because the honors degree will look into a little bit more as compared to what the standard degree would offer. Now, the standards are very high in an honors degree. There you are expected to kind of go a little bit deeper into the section or the area that you are studying. It also will provide you with an overview of kind of a detailed analysis onto what you are focusing on as an honors student. So once you graduate, the HONS that you see in the certificate, which is HONS, it simply stands for honors. So we want to advise you that an honors degree, it's kind of different from the standard degree, because students who go through that particular program have to go to some kind of in-depth learning, kind of detail in what they will be learning, and it finally ends up with some kind of research project, detailed proposal writings, and other things that you come up with, and that you don't have in. I'm not saying that a standard degree does not have research projects, but this degree, it's designed in such a way that you come up with an honors because of the amount of work you've done. So in a standard degree, actually, if you go ahead to do a standard degree, this normally is a degree that you just go to university and then you do that. It's not so considered as in-depth to an extent where as compared to an honors degree student. So they are basically the same qualification. Don't get me wrong. They are the same qualification, the same bachelor's degree. But what we're saying here is the reason why one is called an honors and the other one is called an ordinary degree is as a result of the amount of the volume and the work that's involved here. Most honors degree will be up to 360 credits, 360 credits, and some standard degree will not be up to that number of credits. Could be like 300 credits. So what happens, that's why you see some people do have an ordinary degree and they go back to do an honors degree. There are some master's degree that you cannot study. These are the advantages of an honors degree. There are lots of master's degree like here in the UK that you cannot study those programs, those master's degree, and you cannot be admitted, you cannot be selected in whatever form or shape because your bachelor's degree is not honors. They will spell it out there in the admissions and requirement process that you must have a bachelor's degree honors. If it's not an honors degree, there is just no two way around it. Some student will come in and then with your general degree or the standard bachelor's degree, they would apply and then they will have to do one more year. Like in some countries, like in South Africa, people will do, most students study and then they will have the normal bachelor's degree and later on they will do one more year in another school, another university, and then they will come up with an honors degree. This happens also in Australia. It happens in many other countries around the world. So the next time you go out there to search for your next educational bachelor's program, you want to check why this is an honor degree and why this is a standard degree. So you want to look into that. It is very important for you to have that at the back of your mind before you make such a decision. So we encourage you to review that. We would like to have your questions in this area so we are able to address it and answer your question. Now, the admissions requirement will be very easy to an MBA or a general master's degree or an MSc with someone with an honors degree. Also, someone whom do not have an honors degree, we're not saying that you cannot be admitted, but there are some specific programs that you need an honors to go in there. However, you can also do your honors degree if you start, you have some kind of previous learning in terms of certification, and you were able to bring that in, you can go straight into the honors degree. The thing is that the requirements for honors are very strict as compared to a standard bachelor's program. So we want to advise you that when you're doing your due diligence, make sure that you focus on this difference. There's a very big difference. Honors on one side, standard on the other hand. So if you have a standard degree, we are not saying that it's not a good certificate. We're not saying that, not at all. What we are saying here is the reason why you see some certificates are written honors and others are bachelor's general, it's as a result of the amount of work, the volume of work involved. That both students, someone who's studying honors program, the other one who is doing a standard will go through a different kind of in-depth lectures or learning. The research proposal, you must have specialized into a specific area for you to come out with an honors. You must have done some extra work for you to come up with an honors degree. It's valuable. There is no two way around it. Most UK schools would offer honor degrees, and they will be very strict in terms of those who can go and do a master's degree, that if you do not have, like for example, there are some psychology programs around the world that most schools would ask you to bring a complete bachelor's with honors. If you do not have the honors degree, you cannot qualify for that particular program, period. Nothing else. you must have a bachelor's degree. There are some science programs, some IT programs, the master's level. You must come up with an honors degree. So we encourage you to, if you are that a seasoned professional or the young expert who is intending to do your bachelor's, if you are someone who wants to progress your career, or you're just coming out from school, you're having your A levels now, your advanced level, your GCSE, we encourage you to focus your attention on what the difference could mean. It all depends on you as an individual. Both degrees are fine, but if you're intending to do an honors, if you want an honors degree to be on your certificate, you have to start considering that at the beginning of the application process. And you want to speak to your consultant. You want to have that conversation with your advisor. You want to talk to your program manager. You want to talk to them about the difference involved here. So make sure that the next time you are filling that application, you have a better understanding as to what you want to do. You can also go in to do an honors degree. It doesn't mean you must have a GCSE. It doesn't mean you must have some kind of baccalaureate or some kind of A levels. You can also go in to do a bachelor's degree with your work experience. That's important. So you can also go to do an honors bachelor's with your work experience, especially in online programs nowadays. You can go in to do your honors degree with just your work experience. In that case, you might be required to write some kind of motivational letter. You would have to provide that motivational letter as to what are the things pushing you to do that. In the next episode in the future, we will get to address the area about the motivational statement or the goal statement, or the reason behind this document, because it's so important. It can make the difference. It can shape the reason why an admissions department should offer you a place for the program. So the reason we'll be looking into that is because most of the professionals out there do not approach the personal statement or the goal statement in a way that should be written. So most of them go over to the internet and copy information and paste it there, instead of them focusing on the basics, which is about them. So they start talking about things which are not relevant. They do not follow the script. So we will talk about that in our future video. So to give you some tips on how to approach it, it's so important, pretty straightforward. It helps you to strengthen your application. Now, if you're just joining us, we hope that this video, we have inspired you and we have kind of answered that question that you were kind of dealing with. You were able to make that informed decision at the moment. We want to wish you good luck with your future endeavors. Here at Education Unpacked, we try to speak about the questions surrounding career development, decision making in terms of advancing your own career, taking that next move, whether you're a seasoned expert, whether you're a young professional, whether you're a student just graduating from college, if you're married, you're couples, wherever you are coming from, wherever in the world you are. Here at Education Unpacked, we will be happy to have your questions, so we are able to address them as we proceed. So if you are joining us, we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we keep things practical, and you click onto the bell down there. So once we upload new videos, you are able to have that. So we hope that today we've talked about the difference between honors and standard degrees. If there's any area you feel that we should have touched that we did not touch, please, we will welcome you to send us your comments, and we will be able to adjust that in our coming episodes in the future. So thanks for joining us. You're welcome to Education Unpacked. We want to wish you a pleasant day, and we look forward welcoming you again to our next video in the next couple of weeks. Have a pleasant day, and bye for now.